everybody. So here we're going to try adding and subtracting negative numbers with a compass and a straight edge. So here's my straight edge. And remember, I'm not using the rulered part of this. I just want the straight edge. And then I've got my compass over here. Okay? So now I'm going to draw a line, right segment right there. I'm going to make a little dot right there, and I'm going to start off by making my 1. Because remember, this is all the math we're doing here is kind of a comparative sort of thing. So this right here, that length right there is going to be my 1. Now, if I wanted to make, let's say, do the operation here, let's say 5 plus negative 3, and I wanted to figure out what that's going to look like. Well, what I would do here is, first of all, I'm going to figure out what 5 looks like. So I'm going to create my number line right here, or not my number line really, I'm just going to do another straight edge. But I'm going to treat it basically like a number line. Okay, so here's my starting point right there. Well, first of all, I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to use this, to create my 5. So here's my 1. Already gone through and identified how the 1 works here. So that's my 1. I'm going to count it out. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this distance right here is going to be my 5. So I'm going to take that, and I know there's probably people looking at this thinking that there's other ways that I could do this, but I'm just doing this for fun here. So there's my 5. So now, on my new line here, I'm going to draw my little arc, and that's going to intersect this line at the 5 mark. So this distance right here is my 5. Now, negative 3. Well, negative here, when I add the negative, basically that's like subtracting, right? So adding a negative is like subtracting. But I'm going to just talk about that. First of all, what I need here is to get 3. And thankfully, I've already gone through, because I did the larger number there, I've already gone through, and I can identify where the 3 is. So now, I started with the 5, so I'm going to go now to the end of my 5. I'm going to assume my 5 is done. So this is where I started my problem. I am now with the 5, I'm over here. Normally with addition, I would go over here and mark off a mark on the line segment, but because it's a negative, I spin my compass around and now I go this way. Okay, so this is just like subtraction. So I went forward 5 and then I came backwards 3. So this distance here is 3, but it's negative because I went that way. But so now, what am I left with? Well, let's go back to my 1. This is how big my 1 is. Let's just take a look at that little line segment that I'm left with. So there's 1, and look at that. It's 2. So this distance right here is 2. Now, and bear in mind, here's where I started. So when I measure this number here, I'm going out this way to the end, so that's positive 2. So I know that 5 plus a negative 3 is equal to positive 2. Okay, now, that could be a little bit different here. Let's try this one here. Let's try, okay, I'm going to do put another line here. Actually, I'm going to make this one a little bit longer here if I can. I'll extend that because I'm not sure how this is going to look. Okay, let's do this one. Let's try, in this case here, 5 minus negative 3. Okay, well, thankfully I've got the tools already. I know how big 5's got to be. 5 has got to go out to there. Okay, so I'm going out there, matching up my arc. Okay, so here's my 5. Oh, I did it again where you couldn't see it. So I'll put it out there. There's my 5. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to grab the 3. So I just want the compass to open up to a 3 right there. And so now here we go. I'm going to do 5 minus negative 3. So here's my 5. I move out to the end of 5, put my compass there. Now with addition, I would just make a little mark right there and that would be my answer. But in this case here, I'm subtracting, so I'm going to spin this thing over. Look at this, I'm subtracting, so the negative flips it, a negative 3. So the next negative flips it again, and I am actually going to make a mark out here. And that's how subtracting a negative works with a compass and a straight edge. Okay? So this is 5 and this is 3. If I wanted to figure this out, if I didn't already know the answer, right, I could figure out how big my 1 is and then just go through and 1, 2, oops, sorry, that slipped a little bit. 2, 3, 4, whoops, and it's off a little bit, and I apologize for that. That's because it slipped a little bit. That's 6, that's going to be 7, and that's going to be 8 here. So it didn't work out perfectly there because my thing had opened up a little bit, but this was my minus my -3, still went out that way, and my answer was 8. But anyway, that's how you would handle adding and subtracting negatives. With subtraction, you just flip it around and you go this way. But if you're subtracting a negative, each of those negatives causes the compass to spin basically 180 degrees so that you're going in the other direction.